So guys, this is a vlog in a while. So today I have errands to run. First of all, let me just quickly show you. Let me start with the grill. So I got into a little bit of an accident where a tow bar hit me and just ruined my grill and the number plate, the Stoßplatte. And I ordered a new one right here, which came in yesterday, which yeah, looks brand new. So I gotta get that one sorted, and as well I gotta get the downpipe sorted. I need to change the hangers of the downpipe to much thicker ones. So yeah, let's go. So currently we're just heading to Rock Performance to get that sorted out, and I hope they don't charge me any additional charges, because I only have enough for to fit in the grill right there. So let's go. So even though this exhaust pipe sounds really good, it just has a little bit of flaw. And the flaw is when, like, I have passengers sitting at the back and the car squats a little bit, the back pipe kind of like touched the cross beam of the car and makes like a rattling noise. So I took it to Power Pipes, I think like twice, and they told me it's the hangers. And I'm gonna go back to Rock Performance and try if they can sort it out. So now I'm just arriving here at Rock Performance. Yeah, I haven't been here in a while, so let's see what they say. So now the car is done, and yeah, so hopefully the exhaust doesn't rattle anymore. I just changed the bracing of the downpipe. So now I'm currently heading to PP Performance to get my grill fixed. So just arrived to PP Performance panel beaters. So this is where I will be installing my grill. And yeah, I hope it's a perfect fitment, but I think it is, because the grill that I got is OEM, so it's ordered straight from VW. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, maybe for 10 minutes. Yeah, so they have to install it. I also just love how aggressive this car looks, guys. So it just doesn't look like a normal Polo GTI. Like, I completely changed this car. Not completely, but it just looks like something different, like a special edition, like a TCR Polo, like a Polo TCR or something like that. It just looks so different compared to other cars. So currently they have started loosening up the bolts, so the bumper has to come off. So yeah. Now this is where we get started with everything. Surprisingly, these Polos have around 25 bolts. It also surprised me how thugs are able to just pull this thing off within seconds. After fighting for about 30 minutes, it started to come off. We managed to get most of the bolts, but there seemed to be a hidden bolt underneath. So we started looking. Guys, the amount of bolts on this bumper is astonishing. Now at last, we managed to get the bumper off. Guys, this is my first time seeing my car like this, so the bumper has never came off until now. Here comes the hard part. The first part was easy, but now we have to work with clips. We have to make sure we don't break the bumper's clips, or the new one won't clip back. To be honest, guys, this part made me very nervous. Anything that involves a clip makes me nervous, because anything can go wrong and a clip can break. But you know what? PP Performance got this. Finally, we tested the lights, we tested everything, and the bumper was back on perfectly. So the grill is finally fixed. So yeah, it's a perfect fitment. As you guys can see, this is how it looks like. There's only this scratch right here. I don't think you can polish this off, but yeah, this is how it currently looks like. And for the front here, I kind of have like a plan for it. Let me just quickly show you. So I'm going to stick it with this Velcro. So this one, it's gonna be here, there, and I need another one that goes here. So my number plates are gonna be stuck with Velcro. So it's gonna make them magnetic while they're not magnetic. Magnetic will be the last option that I go for, but I'm still that's still in mind. I'm still gonna do that. I also want to talk about the ownership of this car. So it's been 3 years of owning this car, and I think I'll be the first one to make a video talking about how it feels to own this car for 3 years. What I'm going to start with is the wear and tear of this car, the exterior and interior, what to expect after 3 years of owning this car. So let's get started. Firstly, if you don't put PPF, like front PPF, on this car, you are gonna pick up stone chips, and this thing is quick, guys, so it's also hard to like drive it at 120 kilometers per hour. And when you check right here, I do have stone chips that I try to patch up with paint here, so the bonnet doesn't rust, because you could see bare metal. And what makes me so upset is that this part right here, it's so sensitive. If you get this car, just try to PPF this part and this part. As you can see, this part has a few cracks here. There's a crack here and there's a crack there. These are stone chips, guys. And here as well, this light bar, guys, look, there's a crack right there. Let me just quickly try to show you if I can just zoom in. You see right there, the glass kind of like chipped. So this is like, it's not glass, it's plastic. So if you don't put any PPF at the front, yeah, you are gonna see a lot of stone chips on these cars. Other than that, that's the only wear and tear you would see. And the rest of the body, not really. We can talk about, you might get a little bit scratches here from your nails every time when you like do this. And what else? That's about it, to be honest. There's no other wear and tear item. The car, the build and everything, it's very solid. What I love is that when you open and close the doors, they don't squeak. Some manufacturers' doors squeak. So the build quality on these Polos is pretty good. Matter of fact, at the end of the day, this is a German car, and you know German cars are built well and they are well put together. Now let's talk about the interior. So the first wear and tear item would be the seats. So you'll notice a couple of scuffs right here, and the leather kind of like showing its age around here. You'll also notice this on the airbag tag. Another wear and tear item here will be the steering wheel. So the steering wheel time to time will get to be like this. And yeah, this kind of like looks bad when you like really look into it, but from far it doesn't look as bad. And surprisingly, that's the only wear and tear item in the interior, because the doors are built with this very hard material, and this is like cloth, and you know how durable cloth is. As well with the armrest, it's also like this cloth. I think they went with the cloth fabric for durability, because on most cars, if this was leather, it was going to start cracking. Now let's talk about the issues that you may experience with this car. And I'll start with the electronical issues, because this car has quite a lot of electronical issues, especially the infotainment system right there. So the infotainment system, sometimes it just reboots, sometimes it doesn't switch on, sometimes you get an error on the camera, and sometimes it just freezes. But this happens like maybe 3 out of 10 times. What I noticed as well after owning this car for 3 years is that my rear defogger, this button right here, this one right here. This one, it doesn't work anymore. So I can't defog my the rear glass. So if this gets fogged up, I can't defog. So I think maybe it's a fuse that blew or something, maybe in an electrical issue, but I'm thinking it's a fuse. I just need to get that checked. So that doesn't work anymore. Another thing that's showing me flames has to do with the sunroof. So the sunroof, guys, it doesn't work anymore. Let me show you. Let me just demonstrate quickly. So if I switch on the car like that and I click all the way, it's supposed to like automatically like go back like that. It doesn't work. So the motor for the sunroof is actually completely dead. So luckily when it died, I had my warranty was still active, so I was able to claim the motor for this car, for this sunroof, and it's on its way from Germany. Another warning sign that actually really scared me, because I thought my water pump was going, was sometimes I'll get a low coolant light that comes on, and when you switch off the car and switch it on again, it goes all away completely. So I think that has to do with maybe a sensor or something, because like when you do go at the front and you check the coolant, you find the coolant level, it's still fine, but that light still comes on, which is very weird. I would also get like a warning sign for my indicators. It says fault indicator left or fault indicator right. But when you actually do come out and you like do the hazards and you indicate, it actually works, but there's a fault there. So I don't know what's up with that. Let's talk about the mechanicals of this car. Does it give you mechanical issues? Have I ever had a water pump issue? Let me break it down for you. So to give you some history, this car has been tuned ever since I think 16,000 kilometers. And when I tell you this is that I've never experienced any mechanical issues on this car. And I still have the original gearbox. The mechatronics has never been changed. The water pump has never been changed. The only parts that have been changed were the serviceable parts, like your oil, your spark plugs, your brake pads. But this thing, guys, it has been very, very reliable. These engines are very reliable, and for them to run so reliably while they're pushing around 200 kilowatts while they're not even built for that, guys, this motor is surprisingly, you can see there's like a blaze performance intake here, that this thing is completely not stock. And when you look down there, there's actually like a downpipe. So like I'm approaching 80,000 kilometers. I've never got a engine check light. I've never got any weird things, guys. This thing is solid. The reliability of this car is perfect. But just to say the reliability of this car is perfect, to keep it on the road, it's not cheap at all, guys. If you were to get this car, I would just recommend you guys get an extended motor plan, because my last service, to change the oil on this car is pretty fair, because it will cost you around maybe from 2,500 to 3,000 rand. So all changes it's okay. Where it actually really gets expensive is your discs, your brakes, your DSG service. Because to change the brakes on this car, all 4 brakes, the quotation from VW, it was around 7,500 rand. That's just brake work only. So now imagine the discs. I was so curious and I asked about the disc, how much it would cost to change the discs. So the front ones, it's 3,600 rand each. Not just the front one, each. So it's 3,700 rand there, 3,700 rand there. And to change the ones at the back, yo guys, they changed the ones at the back is like 2,500, and at the other side is 2,500. Now imagine if you had to change your brake pads and your discs, it'll be bad. And of course, I didn't pay those ridiculous prices. My discs they still have maybe 10 to 20,000 kilometers in them. So what I actually did, I went to Goldwagen and I bought brake pads there, and to only find out that they use the exact same brand as the OEM ones. So To change the brake pads at the front for both of them is around, I think it was around 1,100 rand, and at the back were around 650 rand for all of them. So I kind of like cut costs. Now the things that might annoy you is that when you drive this car, the DQ250, the gearbox, is that on low speed it's very, very jerky. At first you may feel like your gearbox is not okay, but that's normal thing for these gearboxes. They are not as smooth as the one found on the what is this, the Golf 8. Secondly is that what's more annoying is that the wheel spin that you get on this car, guys, it's crazy. So it's called a wheel hop, is where the wheel hops, so it kind of like spins. It's not going anywhere before you like go. So that's another thing that you can actually expect. So this car's, in terms of putting power to the ground, it's bad. Also, when you tune these cars, is that they heat soak. So the intercooler here is not as efficient. So it heat soaks on stock power, and it heat soaks even worse when you like stage it. So putting an intercooler on this does help a lot more. Something that I also forgot to mention is that this gets scratched badly, guys. Even this will get scratches. You'll get scratches here, you'll get scratches on the steering wheel, especially with car washes that don't take care of your things. You're gonna get scratches, and if it hits direct sunlight, it looks pretty bad. Also, you do get lots of rattling inside the interior, especially on these pillars right there. There's some rattle that I don't understand. It goes and comes back, and as well, like this area, I get some rattling that goes and comes back. In terms of reliability mechanically on this car, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Remember, there's EA888 engines have been in the market for a very long time. So they've been tried and tested, they've been developed, they've been improved. So the engine here is very, very reliable. You just have to service it. The DQ250 is also very reliable compared to the dry clutch, the DQ200. So that one found on the 6C, I would never recommend someone to go get that car, because there's megatronic failures, there's just a whole lot of gearbox issues on those cars. I'd rather get an AW. And yeah, and I know that South African market loves the 6C, but that comes with a lot of stress, and the power that you get on that thing, it's not even that great. The tunability is not that great as well.